Hey there, everybody. It's J Pool from J Pool's GNERD Corner, and I'm here with Madame Moody.
Magical.
Magical. Should I call you Madame Moody or Missy Moody?
Madame Moody's fine.
Okay, all right.
I like that one. Yeah.
All right. Because I was actually looking up Missy Moody online and couldn't find your page, and then it led me to Madame Moody, and I'm like, oh, okay, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Madame Moody's great. That's my cosplay and costume designer name, so that's great.
Fantastic. All right, so this is actually not a normal vlog I normally do. So I've been doing a lot of cosplay interviews recently, but I have you on tonight because we're going to talk a little bit about pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, pop culture. It's going to be awesome. All right, hold on a second. I just accidentally went back to Windows screen.
Oh,
let me try to get yeah, let me try to get full screen again. Something happened here. Oh, technical difficulties. They're so much fun.
I think we've all done that before.
Oh yes.
For many things.
Definitely. All right. So that all went away. The bottom part. So don't touch the mouse. Just don't touch the mouse. All right. So if anybody's wondering why I'm looking upward this way, it's because my screen is that way. It's kind of awkward. But no, tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some recent news in pop culture, including just today the Captain Marvel trailer that was just dropped. Oh yes. I could just put some drums later on in the
I kind of tried that.
no, it was an awesome trailer. I've been looking forward to it ever since they announced that they were going to be doing a Captain Marvel film, and they chose Brie Larson, who's an Academy Award winner for her role in Room, not The Room. I hope people don't get that confused and they pull up, oh, I can't wait to see Brie Larson in this. What? Why is this movie so bad? Where's Brie Larson? Is she the blonde? No, that's, you got The Room, not Room.
Is that the one where they made with James Franco, like the disaster artist? So
Yes,
it's about that, right? Oh my God, I have not seen it, but I've heard many good things from him.
Have you actually seen The Disaster Artist?
No. That's what I want to see, but everybody's like, you have to like sit through The Room to really appreciate the disaster artist.
Yes, you do.
So, fine.
Not to name drop, but actually I have it on my channel. I'm actually friends with one of the cast members of the film The Room. He actually lives here in the Valley. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I bet that's fun.
yeah, it's fun. He played one of the characters in there named Denny, and one of the main characters. So yeah, hearing his experience throughout, filming The Room, and later on it becoming this one of the worst movies ever filmed, and yet it's so bad it's good type of films.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. So before we segue into The Room,
I know we could go there forever,
yeah,
right?
we could go forever. We could have a whole episode about The Room. Let's talk a little bit about Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel came out, let's see, what was it, 1977. January 1977 in Miss Marvel #1. That was her first appearance. Yes, I'm cheating. I have a computer right here.
I know.
People are like, why are you turning around? Because my computer's right here with all the information.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, she's an incredible character, and pretty much one of the most powerful Avengers on the team when she was on the team. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because they are building her up to be one of the most powerful superheroes that will probably join the Avengers later on, after everybody's also contract is up. The current people. Currently, I think, in my opinion, Thor, I think, is currently the most powerful Avenger, considering that he had a literal sun or star or whatever, like energy go
Oh, the
right through.
star.
Yeah, like the go
Yeah.
right through him,
Yeah.
and he didn't die. So,
No.
yeah, I think he's pretty powerful.
Yeah, but I mean, um, oh, what's her face? Of course, I forget her name. The Olsen girl. What is her character's
Oh
name?
yeah, Scarlet Witch
Scarlet Witch.
or Wanda.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
You do have to admit she's killing her boyfriend, having a nervous breakdown, and holding off
Yeah,
balls for or
Thanos.
whatever.
Thanos. Yeah.
Thanos, thank you. My brain is not here. I just got back from Hawaii, so I'm still in Hawaii. She's doing all of that all at the same time. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty fucking powerful right there. Oh, am I allowed to swear?
Oh yeah, you can swear.
Okay. Okay. I should have asked.
I had some guests
Yeah.
that go forever throughout the, interviews, and then at the end they're like, "Oh, did I swear?" I'm like, "No, you could have sworn the whole time." And they're like, "Oh man, I should have sworn." Like, yeah, you should have swore. No, but
Yeah.
she is powerful. Actually, she's way more powerful. But they've actually depowered her for the Avengers films. Also because they
Wow.
can't say that she's a mutant because Fox currently owns the licensing rights for mutants and the X-Men and everything else like that. So in the comic book, she actually is extremely powerful. She can not only use things like telekinesis and that energy that creates, from or created from the telekinesis, but she can also warp reality. And in a comic book series called House of M, she went crazy, and her father, Magneto, and Professor Xavier tried to stop her, but they were too late, and she said 3 words that changed the Marvel Universe forever. It was no more mutants. And she
Oh, shit.
and she depowered, like, what was it, almost 3/4 of the mutants in the world, which sucked for flying mutants because they littered the landscape. It was a really disturbing, like, it was like I think it was like a 1 or 2 page panel where it just shows
Oh
these
my God.
mutants that fell out of the sky and they're dead. They just hit the ground.
Jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't really a funny scene, so it's funny to think about it now, but people like, her brother Quicksilver and a bunch of other mutants, they lost their abilities. Somebody, one of the X-Men named Chamber, who had a literal black hole in his bottom, his chest and his lower mouth, now just had a just gaping hole without
That's
anything there.
insane.
He almost died. He survived, but yeah, a bunch of mutants lost their lives because they no longer had their power, and some of that their power was holding them actually together. So
Wow. Wow, I didn't know that one.
yeah, it's a very interesting series, the House of M series. So if,
Yeah.
for anybody who's watching currently, if you haven't read the House of M series, go to your local comic book store, and they should have it in volume form. So
Sweet.
you don't have to spend a crap load of money trying to find all the single issues.
Yeah, seriously.
No, but
Yay.
yeah. So some comic book information for you. So Miss Marvel, like I was saying earlier, or Captain Marvel, she went by Miss Marvel for a long time, and she also had a different suit as well. So a lot of people, when they think of Miss Marvel, they think of her kind of black, like, leotard suit with her thigh-high boots and that yellow lightning bolt with a red sash going out. But today's Captain Marvel is more of, well, it kind of still looks like, a leotard type of situation with a sash. But with the movie coming out, it looks more like a tactical suit, like something that, like, Captain America would wear, or like a version of Captain America's suit.
Yeah, it's got some depth to it.
Yeah.
I really like that. It's not just a spandex suit. Although a lot of people are doing like the printed spandex suits for cosplay, which is totally cool. But I'm like, I want the depth. I like the feels of the different textures that we can put into cosplay these days. I love it so much.
Yes, prepare to spend $800 to $1,000, people. Because if you want that depth, it's gonna.
Replicate.
Yeah, if you want a depth in your suit, Yeah, that's how much it's probably gonna take because the Deadpool like costume replicas ones are like 900 to
Oh,
$1,000.
there's so much. Hire me, bitches. That is what I do. I can do that for you. I can do many, many, many things for cosplays.
I'm trying to. I'm saving up for photography stuff, but I'm trying to get one of those $1,000 Deadpool suits because I cannot sew with a lick. Um, I suck at that, so I buy all my stuff. So some cosplayers consider that not actual being an actual cosplayer or
I will
costumer.
get my I will get on my soapbox about that. If you are wearing a costume of the beloved character that you very connect to, that is cosplay, costume play. It's okay to buy things. It's okay to have low quality. It's okay to make it yourself. It's okay. Cosplay is cosplay.
Exact.
Off my soapbox.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's I really like to cosplay. I'm going to take sort of somewhat of a break though next year to do more media, so I won't be in cosplay all the time. Maybe like late at night, but usually during the day I'll just be walking around. Just because it's really hard to go around in costume and shoot and do interviews and um, get media contacts when you're in costume. Also, a lot of people don't take you as seriously.
No, they really don't. You have to look official for everything, so you can't be in costume whatsoever.
So yeah, so I'm gonna just take a little bit of a break with costuming. It's not like I'm not going to get into cosplay every once in a while, but yeah, that's just my decision. So we segued away from that. We go all the way back and make a circle, a Yui, all the way back to Captain Marvel. So what did you like about the new teaser trailer for Captain Marvel?
Oh my gosh. I like that. Okay, so first of all, I love the name drop of Blockbuster. That was kind of funny to me. I
Yeah.
think that's probably might be everybody's favorite because they're like non-existent. So that was kind of funny. I do like how it's a little bit of a mystery of like she talks about these memories and stuff, and so she kind of plays on this mystery that she doesn't know the answers yet to. So that'll be interesting to see how that unfolds in the film. I do like that they changed the outfits within the movie, where it's not like she starts out with one outfit and then she changes it to the next film. She has both of them, in at least from what I can tell. It, as far as I can tell, there's both of the outfits in there. I do like how she's more portrayed as the tactical kind of suit. I do really like that it's not like, you know, I'm a woman and you can clearly see that and let's push that I'm a woman in your face and stuff. No, she's very much like, I'm a badass. I got a job to do. I got some ass to kick. That's what she really, I love the tactical part of her suit. It made me really, really happy.
Yeah.
Because how can you, like, fight in skin tight things? Like, in Black Panther, where they're in that, what was it? Was it in China, I think? I can't remember. I just watched it the other day, and like the warrior lady is all like, "This wig is ridiculous," and she hates that she's the cat and the dress and heels, and that's not very tactical or logical. So I was really happy with the fact that they made it more logical and not so like I'm just here to be a sex symbol. It was pretty awesome. I love that about her.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry about that. We actually just got poor connection, so
Oh
it started jumping around for a second.
no!
I'm on wired connection, so I don't know if your Wi-Fi.
I have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Dang it. Hopefully it works.
Yeah. So anyway, I heard what you were trying to say, but yeah, that is interesting. I really so if you actually watch or seen the stills for the film, she's part of a team called Star Force, and pretty much all of them have similar uniforms. So there's another female on the team played by Gemma Chan, who was recently on a movie called Crazy Rich Asians.
Her. Oh, she's
Yeah.
a good choice.
Did you see that movie?
I haven't, but I've been wanting to.
Okay, all right.
It
So
looks
her
really
story,
funny.
Gemma Chan's story in Crazy Rich Asians, is actually very interesting, considering that she's not the main character of the movie.
Yeah.
It's more of a side character, but I'm not going to spoil
Yeah.
anything. But she's really good, and she's also I think considered like top 100 most beautiful people in the world.
She really is, though.
Yeah,
She really is.
but no, she looks good. She looks good as a Cree. All right, she looks good as a Cree. Um, no, but it's really interesting seeing them all together, and we're going to see Ronan um, and Jaimin Hansu's character. I forgot his name now, but they were both the bad guys in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Hmm.
So we're gonna see them actually, or her, team up with Ronan, who's part of Star Force and everything. So we're gonna see what happened, why he went off the deep end, and started killing a lot of people.
Oh yeah, because it's her origin story-ish, right? It's
Yeah, well,
that. That's right.
there's gonna be a lot of flashbacks to probably when she was being trained in Star Force, and also her time when she was on Earth, when she was younger and everything. So there's probably going to be a lot of flashbacks in there. But it looks like she had some brainwashing done to her, because she can't seem to remember
Hmm.
her time on Earth except for these flashes of memories that keep popping up. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if like she finds out that what the Kree did to her, and then gets pissed at them, even though she came to Earth originally to fight Skrulls, which are these interesting green, like elf-like creatures that can change their shape and morph,
Hmm.
which is going to be interesting because this is the first time they mention Skrulls, and I wonder if that's going to lead into anything later on with any of the other Marvel characters for the MCU, considering that they can not only change shape, but they can also match powers, so they can imitate abilities.
That'll be really cool.
Yeah, there was this one Skrull that did all. He was called a Super Skrull. All four powers of the Fantastic Four in one Skrull. So he had the ability to
Wow.
turn invisible, stretch, flame on, and also get rock hard, which sounds dirty.
Completely.
Time to
let's
get
do
rock
that.
hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's if you go online, it's actually my friend Mark Amir, who's a voice actor. He voiced the Commander Shepard in the Mass Effect games.
Oh, wow.
He's also a really good cosplayer too, and he did this. He did a Super Scroll, actually at multiple conventions. He's up in Canada, and it's a really epic. Like if you go online and go Super Scroll Mark Mir, it's just they're pretty cool pictures he's gotten taken of it. So yeah, it's an interesting creature that we're going to be able to see. We haven't seen someone like that. I mean, we've seen Kree a lot in the movies and on Agents of Shield and everything, and we can see that they're not all bad. There are some factions out there that decided to experiment with humans and created the Inhumans as a weapon. Which they couldn't say. I mean, there were Inhumans in the comics, but they could not say mutants, unfortunately, in the movies,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Fox. But now
Because of the thing.
now Disney owns everything, and hopefully DC one day.
I know. Wouldn't that be something?
Well, I mean,
If
it'll be a
someone
monopoly.
had that?
It'll be a monopoly, and I know a lot of my DC friends would not like that, but
No.
the way the DC is working out right now, especially in the movies, is not. I'm hoping Shazam and Aquaman turn it around, but currently, it's not looking good for them.
It's iffy. I mean, there's great things about it, but they need to get their shit together, basically.
Oh yeah. I made a comment today. I said something in the effect of that moment when Marvel makes something like a better Green Lantern than DC, with the new
Yes.
Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, because
The trailer for it.
yes, because she's wearing a
Yeah.
suit. It's not CGI, It looks good.
Yeah.
And also, she's part of a force called Space Force, and they all have specific powers, and they fly all over the place. And yeah, there you go.
Space Force.
The Green Lantern Corps, people. No, it's not. But yeah, I'm really hoping because they are coming out. I believe it's in 2020. They are DC's coming out with the Green Lantern Corps. So hopefully they deal more with the core part in the space than coming back to Earth and with a crappy story. And even Ryan Reynolds, he shits on that movie as often as he can.
Oh my
And
God.
he was in the movie. He
And the Deadpool scene at the very end, at the second one,
Yep.
where he,
hmm
yeah, oh my God. I still don't want to say it, even though it's been out forever. It's like, oh my God, that was ridiculously hilarious. I thought I was going to pee myself.
all
It was
those things,
so
all
funny.
those things. Did you see the one on the Blu-ray?
No, but I've heard about it.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with it yet. But I heard it sounds funny. Like if he plays it right, then I feel like it'd be really, really funny. But I'm just a little uneasy with it.
Well,
Just
I'll just tell you that he doesn't go through with it. He can't.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Because I'm all like, what? No.
He ends up changing the diapers.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Wow. Oh, I need to buy it.
And
I
that-
just watched it on the airplane to Hawaii a couple of days ago, and I'm like, oh my God. Made the person next to me super uncomfortable, and I think that was my favorite part because she's all like, oh my God, I don't want to see all that. And yeah, it's funny.
It's a good film. And that's the thing. I think what DC is currently trying to do. We're still in the area of talking about Miss Marvel, but now I'm also leaning with DC because what DC is trying to do is they're really trying to catch up with Marvel, but they're doing it wrong, in my opinion. They are not establishing their characters first. They're going, well, you know these characters, so we don't really need to really throw out too much in the way of origin or build them up like Marvel's been doing for the last 10 years. It took them, what was it, 4 or 5 movies until they finally came out with the Avengers. So
Yeah, it took a while before, and I remember everybody freaking out and losing their minds when they heard about Avengers was going to happen. But it wasn't just like the comic book people that had been reading it for years. It was people who were starting to become banners. Why? I mean, there's a lot more money. If they want to think about money, there's a lot more money in that too, because you're getting all of the fans and not just one side of it, if that makes sense.
yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
just one of those situations where Warner Brothers sees dollar signs and they don't realize that they first need to have an established universe that can support its own and not have just one pillar supporting everyone, and that pillar in my opinion is Wonder Woman currently, when it should be all of them. They should all have room on the base to hold up the DC universe, and with the shakeup currently going on, with questions on if Henry Cavill is actually going to be leaving and Ben Affleck going to be replaced because he can't stay sober. He was actually supposed to be at Salt Lake Comic Con. I'm going to call it Comic Con. I don't care.
I know. It's so hard not to say it. I still say it.
Yeah. No, but he was actually supposed to be there. He was a guest there along with Jason Momoa, and he had to cancel due to his sobriety in jeopardy. So because of also that, Warner Brothers has to look at the future of the franchise and go, should we actually have Ben Affleck as the Batman later on if we can't, if he's not reliable? So it's on shaky ground currently, and the only one that's really holding up is Wonder Woman. I'm hoping Shazam and Aquaman does well. I didn't get a picture with him, but I did meet Jason Momoa when he was here in Phoenix. He's a really nice guy. He's a really nice, big guy. He's a really. I don't know if you. Did you get to meet him?
For a split second. Man, I'm 5 foot nothing, so standing next to him, it was like, please don't step on me, sir. It was so funny. He's so tall, and yeah, I was like, I wanted to make the dirty comment, but I wasn't sure if I had the balls to do it at the time. But I'm like the perfect height for,
Yeah.
yeah. It would have been funny.
He's a funny guy. He has a good sense of humor. He's the type of guy that you actually just want to go out to a bar and have a beer with, and then go throwing axes. In fact, he actually likes throwing axes, so I'm surprised he didn't go over to the axe throwing area of the convention. I don't know if he did. He might have.
Yeah.
Because they did have a
I don't
section.
know.
They had a section where they were throwing axes, which I always got a little nervous walking behind that thing because it just looked like well, no, not just loud. It looks like 3 or maybe 2 or 3 layers of like particle board that were blocking the other side, and you just could see that thing vibrate every time an axe hit it. And I'm like, I don't know if that's still strong enough to support those axes if somebody throws it really hard.
I'll talk to the person who's in charge because I know the guy. I know the guy who knows the guy, and I'll make sure because it freaks me out a couple of times. There was a couple of times where I went behind it, and somebody threw the axe, and it was so loud, and I jumped. I'm like, what if somebody dies? That's the last thing we need right now.
Yeah, and you can see wood chips all over the place from for all over the past 3 days of people throwing axes over and over again. So yeah, it was an interesting little thing. I'm surprised that the and I'm not trying to get the person kicked out of the convention or anything, but like the booth was not like against the wall or something like that. So
yeah, it could have been in a safer area.
Yeah, like I think, in my opinion, it probably, if I was putting the booth together or like setting up where the booth would be, I would probably have put his booth against the wall, so that the wall, just in case something gives away or something like that, the axe doesn't fly into the next booth.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they even really let him have that kind of booth. I've never seen anything like it. So you think they would have done it a little more smart since it was like the first time they've ever done it.
Oh, so it was the first time. It was the first time.
I think so. I think he may have done it at another event, probably Salt Lake Gaming Con, which is very much smaller, but it was the first time for the Salt Lake Fan Experience comic book convention. So yeah, we'll see if they do it again next year.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna get off a little bit about Miss Marvel, and so we're just talking about FanX. This is my first out-of-state convention I went to, and one of my conventions that I had on my bucket list to visit. So I really enjoyed myself. It was a fun convention. I missed the first half of the day because we had to get there. It took us a long time.
You guys didn't get there till like way in the evening.
It took us about a little over around 11 and a half hours, I think, to get there and get settled in and then leave again. So, yeah, because I'm from Phoenix, so driving all the way up, to the state line, and then driving all the way up to Salt Lake. Salt Lake from the southern tip of Utah is technically the distance from, if we went from probably, let's see, I'm trying to think. Probably from like south of Tucson all the way to the Grand Canyon. So it's a long trip. So yeah, it's pretty much like 5.5 hours to get from Phoenix to the border, and then another pretty much 6 hours to get to Salt Lake. So, and we had to do stops in between. So we had like 4 or 5 stops.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't know how. I can maybe do 6 hours about in a car. That's it, though.
Yeah. We had a friend that came with us. His name is Ryan, and he's also a magician, but he's also he's legally blind. So
Hmm.
you met him. He did tricks for
Yeah,
you.
he is so funny. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
He,
He's
he,
my favorite. I'm sorry, he's my favorite out of the group. He was my favorite to talk to. He was funny, and he's
yes.
a good magician. I'm pretty sure I kept saying the fuck, like I couldn't understand what was happening. He's really, really good.
Yeah. So he recently got, as a gift, he got some of these goggles. I don't know
Hmm.
if you saw on his Facebook. He got these goggles that are, you put the phone on there, and it looks like a pretty much a VR goggles,
Hmm.
but they help him see. And so I really wish that he could have had those with him at that time, because there was so many beautiful like scenery
Oh.
going up through, not just up through northern Arizona, but also in Utah as well, because
Hmm.
it's just these long stretches of flatland, the plains,
Hmm.
and they're beautiful to see, especially when the sun is coming up.
Hmm.
And yeah, so my friends,
Bad timing.
yeah, bad timing. I mean, no, I mean, it was fun, but it'd have been cool for him to actually be able to see all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So now we can. So we are.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are. Well, my friends and I are going to be probably taking him to Sedona uh, at, at the end of October for a photo shoot I'm doing with a bunch of Star Wars cosplayers. But he's going to ride along with us so that he can see all the red rocks and everything. So that's pretty.
Where is that one?
What? The Sedona.
Where is that one?
Yeah, Sedona,
I don't
Arizona.
know that one.
Um,
Oh,
yeah.
I failed geography.
Actually, there's an interesting part in southern part of like Utah. I think it's around Glendale, Utah,
Hmm.
and there's these red rocks there and formations, and they look.
Hmm.
In that town you go through, it looks exactly like Sedona. If you didn't know where you were, if you like fell asleep and ended up there,
Yeah.
you would think you're driving through Sedona. So it looks like Sedona. It's really interesting. So
We copied you. It's fine.
yeah, you got, except for the cacti. I entered Utah. There's like no cacti in sight. I'm like,
No.
this is so weird. I'm in a
We're
state without
considered
cacti.
we're a wet desert, so we're not gonna have cactuses, cacti, whatever. See, I don't even know how to say it plural.
That's hilarious. No, but no, it's beautiful country up there, and getting to FanX, that place. I think they call it the Salt Palace, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, it is huge. Like, just somebody posted on the FanX page, just picture of what it looks like without all the stuff in the way, pretty much just clear, and it's just huge. Like, I went on and on when I was walking through that, thinking that it was going to end, and it finally did, and I'm all the way to the photo op area, and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna get exhausted. I should turn my
Yeah.
Pokemon Go on so that I can count my steps.
Yeah, and the funny thing is a lot of the complaints that we get from out of state people is you need a bigger convention center, and we have nothing bigger than that. Like they would have to build a whole new building or add on to it or something because we're already at maximum. It's already pretty much filled to the brim whenever we have the Salt Lake FanX.
Oh yeah, it's a huge convention. And the guests you guys get. I was impressed with the first year where
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing stories where the agents were actually contacting SLCC, um, and usually it's the other way around. Because I
Mm-hmm.
have friends that work a lot of different conventions, or they're directors, or they manage the celebrities to come, and invite them in. But
Mm-hmm.
apparently, the publicists and agents were contacting Salt Lake, seeing if there were spots open, and it was like, wow, that's impressive, and also the sponsors you guys got too. I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
so. It's you guys. Now it's FanX.
Mm-hmm.
Salt Lake has been on my bucket list for a while, and I really enjoyed myself. It was an
Good.
awesome convention. Yeah, just I saw so many my friends that I didn't even know were coming from Arizona there. I'm like, I kept running into them. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, I had no idea you were coming. They're like, I had no idea you were coming. I'm like, I've been posting
Secret.
all week about it.
That is so funny. That's hilarious. It's funny how people do that because it's like if you're posting about it all the time and then they see you and they say that, it's like, well, have you not been paying attention? At the same time, how many friends do they have on their Facebook and how many things do you actually pay attention to? But still, it's something you talk about it for months and then it's like, oh, I didn't know you were coming. Of course you didn't. How did you not know? You know?
Then I practically ran into somebody that I quote unquote don't like, and they blocked me a while ago. And as we were passing by each other, we noticed each other for a second, and then we realized who we were, and then our eyes just darted away, and just awkwardly walked by, and just like,
Oh,
well, that was awkward, and I didn't expect to see her here.
yeah, I have a few stories of those of my own. It's especially with how crowded it gets there. If there's the people that you know that's going to be there, or maybe not even know, and you don't really like each other, it's very awkward when you're like almost rubbing against each other because it's such a large crowd.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's very awkward, and we're all nerds, so we're already awkward as it is. Let's just make it worse. Why
Yeah,
not?
definitely.
And then let's throw some kind of alcohol into the mix, and then it just gets crazy.
Yeah, and I don't drink.
That's right.
I,
And then
I
the rest of the people.
I'm well, yeah, 8 years dry. So
Yeah.
yeah. Also, it helps when I'm doing karaoke because at least I know I'm off key when I'm doing it. And I'm a trained singer, so I try not to be off key.
I do Bohemian Rhapsody, and I do it dramatically and off key on purpose because I feel like that's like the true meaning of karaoke is to have fun and not sing that great. Because if you're singing great, then you're just showing off. So I'm calling you out
Aw, aw.
on that.
I've won so many karaoke contests. It's not even funny.
Oh my god, let's
It's fun.
stroke your ego even more.
It's fun to win. All right, no, but here's a story about Bohemian Rhapsody. Just like days before that convention, I was at a local convention here called Sabaton, and we have it's at a hotel, so it's at the Sheraton Grand here in Phoenix. And one of my friends pulled out her phone and her little speaker box for her phone and started playing Bohemian Rhapsody. This was like probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden a group of our friends started gathering around. This is also right near the mini bar, and started singing, the words, even though we couldn't hear the music. And all of a sudden, the swell of everybody, because I was in the lobby lounge, which is right next door to it. I could start to hear people just started to sing, and then the next level right above us, they started singing. The third level above them started singing it, and no one could hear the music now, but it was just this like chorus of people that knew the lyrics to the song. So it was actually pretty awesome.
Yes. Oh, that song brings everybody together. I swear to God. It's that one and We Will Rock You. Those two songs.
Or
doesn't
Living on the
matter
Prayer.
where
Or
you're
Living
from.
on the Prayer.
Or Living on a Prayer.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Which was the next song.
Gather and we'll sing.
Which was
Yeah.
the next song right after that. So.
That is so funny. Oh my God. Oh, I wish I was there for that. I would have rocked that shit so hard.
You need to
And my
come down. You need to come down to Sabaton Con. I know it's like a week right before or days before Salt Lake, but it's a fun convention because it's in a hotel and you don't have to go far. Literally, you
I'm
just drop.
trying.
You just drop right. So you get out of your hotel room, just take the elevator. You're there.
I got it. I got it. Next year, I haven't done any out of state. My first out of state will be New York Comic Con next month.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have fun. I haven't been there, but I have friends that love that con.
It looks amazing, and my friend who's gonna be my bodyguard, I guess, he's gonna be Ted. So a lot of people will try to find like somebody that does the Tick, and I can't remember the other person, but Ted from like Ted the movie, the little teddy bear that's alive with Mark Wahlberg.
So he's gonna be a big teddy bear.
Yeah, he's good. He actually had the whole thing commissioned, and it looks just like the character. So he's all like, well, yeah, I get to have an excuse to insult people and actually, get away with it. Okay.
Like a Deadpool cosplayer.
Yes, exactly. Just no touching. Cosplay's not consent. That's all I gotta say.
But if you're a teddy bear.
Uh, I don't know. I've smacked some teddy bears. They may not have felt it, but I mean, I felt that paw. I know you know who you are. I felt that paw, and I will smack you again. Not that they're actually watching this. I have no clue.
Yeah,
I just had a birthday happy.
The Pikachu and Eevee were
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
stalkerish and touchy on me at least. They would not stop touching my easy button, so I let them I let them hit my easy button on my Deadpool costume like a few
Yeah.
times, and then they just kept following me around and then coming up and then going dun 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 and then give me hugs. But then they started following me, like we were trying to leave I was waiting for
No.
everybody, to gather up and about to leave the convention.
Yeah.
This is like on the like at the end of the second day, and I was like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know if they're like on the spectrum or anything, but they keep following me and
Ugh,
trying
you
to.
should have found me. I was the undead, creepy Ariel. I would have scared the crap out of them. They would have gone away.
I did not know that. In fact, I did not know that was you when you were Giselle. So.
Did you see me at all?
Yeah, I took some pictures. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I could barely see in my contacts. They were drying up really, really fast. Really fast. Mini Scalaras, they are no joke. If you get any, make sure you get good quality so there's oxygen, because man, I couldn't see. There was at one point where I laid on the floor for like an hour, hour and a half, and I just was sprawled out and just stared off, so it looked like I was actually dead because I had the fork in my head. That was one of my favorite moments. I got to rest for a whole hour and just scared the crap out of people. People tripped on me and then screamed. And then I've had security. Security came up to me and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just scaring people. Oh, okay. Have fun. And oh my God, it was so much fun. Had I known that, I would have kicked that fucking Pokemon's ass. Stay away from my boys. What are you doing?
No, they were doing that to a lot of people. So I don't think I was the only one. I think it was because I was the last one of the night and that it interacted with. They just were following me around as the whole area was getting cleared out. No, but I was looking through the pictures because it was like the last day, and you were in your Giselle, and
That was fun.
I took pictures of you at the booth, and then also when you were over by the celebrity area, just on the ground with your dress all out in a circle.
It's like the only place I can actually sit. That's it. I can eat 3 chairs. 3 chairs. I can engulf 3 chairs with that thing. It's just easier to be on the ground, and people can come up and do pictures, and I don't have to move. So it's like a win-win situation.
Well, you kind of have to move. You have to look off in the.
It's just the
Like,
little
oh.
stare. I don't want to. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And then ask you to sing.
Yeah, and then I'm like, nope, she took my voice. Sorry. I saw Ursula earlier. She took my voice. I don't know. I just make up shit because I was too tired.
I saw Punk Ursula earlier. I think that was a guy.
That
It
was
might be a
bad.
guy. I don't know. I saw a Power Girl.
okay.
I saw a Power Girl, and then turned around and it was a guy, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
we get a lot of those.
Yeah,
We actually have a lot of those.
took a picture with our Power Girl here in Arizona, AZ Power Girl, who was had her own booth over by the cosplay guests and everything. I don't know if did you meet her?
What was her name?
AZ Power Girl, Kara.
Possibly. Was she Red Sonja?
No, that's the I think that was the table across from you. She was actually against the wall, and she had her own booth. She had a bunch of art prints and everything, and
Oh,
she
no, I don't
she
think
was
I saw
yeah
her.
she I think was Cammy the last day. I think she was Cammy the last day.
Nope, I didn't meet her,
Okay, all right,
unfortunately.
yeah. So she's a local, hence the AZ.
For Arizona, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm like, if she was my local, I would know her. I'd feel bad if I didn't. Okay. Hopefully she comes back. I'd like to meet her.
She
be
probably
fun.
she probably will. She probably will.
Okay.
She last year she was at Sabaton, so this year I guess she decided to do um, FanX instead because it's a day and a half right after that convention.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Gotcha.
And I had some friends that
Yeah.
didn't even go to Sabaton because they decided to go to Dragon Con. And that takes place
Yes.
at the same time, so it's so like juggling which convention should I go to because there's so many at the same, near the same time.
Yeah. It depends on which convention you feel like going, because I feel like they're all kind of different. Like Dragon Con is just a one big giant party.
Oh my goodness, my friends
People in
like
costume and party.
we're staying at the hotel and they looked over the balcony and just that bottom floor is a party. Like and like especially late at night. And then there's other like I think like 4 or 5 buildings that they have connected that are just parties, parties, parties. So a lot of imbibing alcohol and a lot of drunk people.
Yeah.
So
So if you want the party vibe is more the Dragon Con. FanX is very much celebrity based and panel based. What's Sabaton more like?
it's anime. It's anime. A
That's the anime.
lot of
Okay.
panels and stuff. It's more of like more of a close knit feeling type of like convention.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. That just depends on what you're poisoning.
Oh yeah, definitely. For people who
Yeah.
like big cons or small cons, I recommend for people who are going to their first convention to not get to not go to a convention that might overwhelm them first, like a big convention for their first convention, because I've seen people do that and then they get in there like Phoenix Comic Con or they go to San Diego or something like that and they're going, I'm just completely overwhelmed and they have to sit like in the corner because either they're just not used to that cramped a feeling or that many people in one room and it's I start with a small convention first and then work your way up to like 100,000 200,000 people
Yeah.
or something to that effect.
Yeah, in Salt Lake City, we have Salt Lake Gaming Con, and it's about a quarter, if that, for FanX. It's about a quarter of the size. That's a really good one if you're in Salt Lake City to try. It's always like in July, June-ish. But yeah, I definitely recommend doing something smaller because, man, it's a lot of fun, but it's exhausting. It's there's a lot of lines. You run into people. You get hit by props. You get run over by things.
Yeah.
It is very overwhelming. So if you decide to go to a big convention, you gotta be prepared for that. Just be prepared. And spending a lot of money on junk food.
So much junk food.
Right? Right? Like, forget your diet. Like, your cheat days, save your cheat days for the convention days, because you're not gonna find anything that's gonna fit your diet.
Sounds like you got beeped and it looks like
Yeah, that was me. That was just my whoops. Oh my gosh, hi!
and your dog says hi.
My dog. This is Persephone.
Hello, Persephone.
Look. Nope. She probably just wants attention.
Persephone
She's
of the underworld.
Yes, not a lot of people actually, but yeah, she's my underworld who was forced to marry Hades, and then she ran away and rebelled.
Yep.
That's what she is. She's very much a rebellious dog. Sorry about that.
Actually, a character in The Matrix named Persephone. So.
Is there? I didn't know that. Was it in the films or?
It was in the second film. I think she showed up in the third film.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
weren't that
long
good.
time
They
ago.
weren't that good. The second and third one, unfortunately, to most people, and to me, I'm a movie critic. Even I admit, yeah, they didn't do a very good job with the second and third films. I always say, there's no sequels to The Matrix. It's only The Matrix.
The Matrix. They don't exist.
They
right?
don't exist.
They don't exist.
No, but as far as FanX is concerned, I probably won't be doing next year's FanX. Just 2 conventions. Like I tried that, doing 2 conventions in 1 week, right, pretty much thing, and that is. I'm surprised I'm not sick. I have a lot of friends that have gotten sick right after that convention because, your immunity and the stress on your body and traveling that much and It's
Yeah,
like it's
like
gonna be a while until I actually do another convention that's like that, or you have to skip a convention to do FanX again. So,
yeah.
but no, I really enjoyed it. It was awesome coming up there. Met a lot of celebrities, got to talk to them, even if I didn't get a lot of pictures with them. I did get a handful.
Hmm.
I got to meet Jeff Goldblum. That was cool.
He was. He's a very interesting person.
He is. I wish I got to his panel. Did you see his panel?
I didn't know. I tend to get stuck in places, so I didn't really get to do a whole lot of I was on a panel and saw like maybe two Black Panther panels, but mostly I was stuck at the cosplay booth or just getting stuck in an area for photos.
The life of a cosplayer and
It's very true.
and cosplay judge. Now, I was looking at some pictures. I know that you did a lot of prejudging. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So they asked me kind of last minute. 'Cause I think the normal judges that are on it wanted to go back to competition, and so they're like, "Hey, we know you've been wanting to do it," and they kind of just added me last minute. That it was a lot of fun, and there's a lot of talented cosplayers that entered. They brought their A game this year. It was insane. The guy that won Best in Show actually entered in as a novice. I was very surprised because he was just amazing. So they did really, really well this year.
So best in show. Usually, if somebody. So what was his costume?
Um, I think it was something from. It was a video game. It didn't look recognizable to me, but it was really big. It was very armor based. Had like this cathedral piece on the back and like very detailed work.
Oh, probably
You guys,
Warhammer. Probably Warhammer.
that one.
He must have been a
Yeah,
Space Marine.
I think so.
Okay, all right.
I had to look up the images. He had a lot of images, but I wanted to look up even more just to make sure I knew the character, but that sounds familiar. Yeah.
That's not novice. If he was actually in our like local like masquerades, he would be brought at least up a level from novice.
With how detailed it was, I wanted to put him in Masters, but I think what it was is that he's never done competition, so he just felt like he was defaulted to novice. So I hope he understands now that skill level kind of plays into it too. Like he should have been in Masters. I wanted him in Masters so bad, but he got best in show in general, so which is great. He totally deserved it. I think it was like a 2-year process, about 2 years into it, and I'm not patient enough for 2 years.
Yeah,
That's why I quit.
I have a friend who's actually making a Space Marine from Warhammer, and they are big. You have to be on stilts, unless you're really really tall, and that's the size they really are. You have to pretty
I
much be on stilts.
Yeah, I think he was a pretty tall person, and then he did like platforms. I think maybe like platforms about that big. He built his own platforms by
Right.
scratch. So it was an awesome cosplay. If you guys ever want to look it up, it's on this like FanX. They have the winners on it and everything. Man, he did a good job.
Yeah, what you're describing sounds like a Space Marine. So
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have all the knowledge. Just because I'm a judge doesn't mean I know every single character out there.
well, and I don't play Warhammer, but I know about a lot of the cosplays because do have a lot of friends that do Warhammer cosplays, and they're
Gotcha.
all over the spectrum on different like you don't just have like the Space Marine armor kind of people.
Mhm.
Um, but I believe we also have like things like witch hunters and stuff, which my friend Ted dresses up as. So,
Was that from the same one?
hmm
Oh, that's funny. I didn't
yeah,
know that. His was pretty awesome. I love his hat. His hat is my favorite.
the hat's pretty cool. But
I
the
wanted
whole
a
the whole
silver hat.
ensemble is like the
Yeah.
stakes, and he actually had like little potions. When we were doing a photo shoot there near the lodge, we were actually in the park right near there. We found this little creek we shot by, and I don't know. You saw some of the pictures.
They turned out beautiful.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, he didn't have all of the. He must have lost them somewhere. He'll make them more, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's very, very, very detailed. What he did, he had dual pistols and his sword and everything. So it's a fun little cosplay. I don't know if he's done contests for that yet, or masquerade contests for that, but no, he's a good costumer. He's good. He's done a lot of stuff that, in my opinion, he should be part of the Mandalorian mercs, but they're kind of picky
Hmm.
with his designs. And I'm like,
A little.
he's practically masters in like that type of armor building. He should be in the
Hmm.
Mandalorian mercs, or at least here. We have a chapter here in Arizona, so.
I'm pretty sure we have one in
No,
Salt
no, you
Lake.
do, you
I
do.
should.
My
We do?
my
Okay.
friend Zane, he was there a lot at that booth, and because he has friends there.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
no, you guys have a 501st. We have a 501st. You guys have Mandos. You have you know Desert Garrison type of Star Wars groups. All seem to sync together, so they're back to back pretty much, which is pretty handy.
Hmm.
What we do here is we have like a very open area, so like pretty much a whole section that's just dedicated to all the Star Wars groups.
Hmm.
So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Hopefully we'll get on board. We'll eventually get more cosplay stuff going.
oh
Who
yeah.
knows?
We have dunes in Yuma, these sand dunes,
Hmm.
and sometimes we go down there and do shoots down there because it looks like Tatooine. So
That's awesome. Oh, you guys have advantages.
side of advantages, yes, and we have well, you guys have red rocks. We like
We have the
I'm shooting
yeah.
into Sedona, so you do the whole red rocks area as well.
Mhm.
So you can
That's
shoot down
awesome.
there, but you have to drive pretty far if you're in Salt Lake. It's like
Yeah, we have
5 hour
mountains.
drive.
Yeah, it depends on how dedicated you want to be.
Yes.
And if you're paying somebody to do your photos. Honestly, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth every penny for a professional photographer to do an amazing shoot and pay for digitals and do prints and stuff. I think it's worth every penny. It's a lot of fun too. And it's always really cool to kind of see like your hard work as a cosplayer in these amazing photos, especially when you can find like the right scenery to go with it. Then it's just like, oh my God, I just brought that alive. It's like, it's a really cool feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I love going to areas, especially we did a snow shoot earlier this year in Flagstaff, and
Oh.
we got up there, and my friend Ted was driving, and all of a sudden we got hit by like a blizzard, and we could feel the vehicle like wobble as we're getting up there.
Oh.
So we finally get up to this area where we are supposed to shoot, and the
Mhm.
snow is starting to come down, and within like about a half hour, that whole area just got covered with snow. And I felt bad for some
Oh
of
my God.
my friends that were Twi'leks, because they weren't wearing a lot of layers, and
Yeah.
also their head is exposed, even though their head is covered with the those I don't know what they're called, but the headpiece, like tendrils
thing.
that goes down the
Yeah.
head. Yeah, after a while, you get cold, and you have nothing covering you. And I was in a balaclava, so I was kind of I was kind of warm from that whole thing. But
Oh.
we had a friend that was dressed up as Chewie, and he was on stilts and everything. And we took these pictures, like blurry pictures of him walking in the distance on purpose, so he looked like Bigfoot. And
Bigfoot, yeah.
and we shot behind a hotel, and it confused a lot of people at that hotel. Like, what are all these people doing here? And why is this big furry man walking through the snow in the backwoods? It was hilarious.
Oh, that I would have loved that. I would have been like, "Hey, can I join?" Like that would have been so cool to see. Snow photo shoots, you got to be prepared. Like,
Oh yeah, and you live up north, so you live up in the area where you
yeah,
guys can get snow more often than we can. We have to travel all the way up to like Flagstaff or a little more north
yeah,
of
you guys
that.
have to go far.
So
I have maybe an hour up the canyon, if that.
yeah,
Yeah,
especially
depending on the time.
yeah, especially Park City. Park City is
Oh
just
yeah.
literally like what, about 40 minutes away from Salt Lake.
From my specific place, about 45 to 50 minutes from downtown. And I did like a mini shoot, an amateur mini shoot at the Sundance Film Festival, and it was covered in snow, and the sidewalks are very tiny. So if you can imagine this wedding dress, that the hoop skirt is 210 inches around, and I was dragging it through the snow, and I was freezing my ass off, and we did some photos. They were really, really cool photos, but I think about 40 minutes into it, I started to get a little bit of frostbite.
Oh yeah.
It was it was hard. And of course I had to like lift up my dress, and I always wear pants. Pants are always on, two pairs, mind you. There's like the spandex pants and then bloomers. And I would always make the joke, "Hey, free peep show," just so I can get by people. They'll just be like, "Oh my god," and sit there and stand and sit there and stand. That makes sense. And they'll just like watch me go by and everything. It was a lot of fun, but let me tell you, if you ever do photography in snow, definitely prepared for that coldness.
Yeah.
It was fun and it wasn't at the same time. They turned out great. I always like to say, the best photos are like the hardest places to get to.
Oh yeah.
Or the right?
Yeah, you talk to my friend Alex, who's goes by Cortex Studios, and he goes in a lot of areas where you're really not supposed to be in, but gets some awesome photos, especially of like abandoned warehouses and other things, like canyons that you're not supposed to be in because it's off the beaten path and it's like unsafe. But no, he gets some really good, awesome photos off of there. So yeah. When I did one of my snow shoots, I did with an Elsa. She lasted maybe a little over 20 minutes. Yeah, a
If
little.
that.
Yeah, she was wearing heels, and her dress was super thin, and she was freezing. Which was funny because the other cosplayer that I was shooting that day too, and a bunch of other photographers were shooting, was a Poison Ivy, who decided to wear sort of a Poison Ivy bikini. She lasted 3.5 hours in the snow, barefoot. So, yeah. I think you froze for a second. Hold on a second. Yeah, you froze for a second.
Oh no, did we lose it?
I don't know. Something happened with the connection. Can you still see me? I blacked out
I
for a
can
second.
see you. Can
All
you
right.
see me?
Yeah. You froze.
There we go.
You froze. No, but you heard what I said about the Poison Ivy cosplayer. Or did that go away?
No, I missed that part.
Oh, okay, all right. I said that she lasted like 3.5 hours in the snow while all of us photographers were shooting her, and she was barefoot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when we got back to the vehicle,
Wow.
her feet were purple. We're like, we need to heat up your feet right now. Seriously, you'll get
You're
serious
about to
frostbite.
die.
You'll get serious frostbite if we don't heat up your feet right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty brave for
That-
Poison Ivy.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, that's, oh, do you need to go in? Oh, I'm good. I'm like, she's like, I can't be on my feet anymore, so I'm okay. I'm like, that's not good. That's not good. That means you have to actually heat up your.
That's what us girls do, though. We kill our feet to the point where we can't feel them in heels or in anything else because we're like, oh, we're good now. We got to just numb our feet and we're good. We're good to go for hours. That's why we like at the end of the night you like see us with our shoes in our hands because at that point we're like, okay, I actually need to walk to my car at
Yes.
some point. So I got to feel my feet. You'll see it like wobbling. There is no more slaying. There was none of this like I look good. It's like no, these bitches are coming off and we're gonna walk to the car. Yeah, I can't imagine how she went through that. 'Cause,
Yeah.
man, I was dying after a half an hour.
I saw a lot of women in their cosplays wear like at FanX wear like 6 or 7 inch heels walking around the convention the whole entire time. I'm like,
No,
no.
if you do it properly, you can last.
if you're
Like-
gelling, if you're gelling,
If you're gelling, for one, gelling is always a must. And then taking ibuprofen to help with swelling, and taking lots of breaks. And never take your shoes off, because if you take your shoes off, the swelling will get worse, and then you can't put your feet back in. I have learned this the hard way.
Oh yeah.
So if you do it properly, you can get away with it. But man, I tried not to. That's why I love horror cosplay so much, is because I don't have to be pretty. I don't have to wear heels. I don't have to do anything super extravagant. Very comfortable. Yeah, just avoid heels if you can. It's not good for your feet.
I try to avoid heels as much as I can.
I hope so. I mean, if you really want, I'm not against it. You know, guys, if you want to wear heels, that's totally fine. But just be careful.
I have a lot of friends who
You've
do
ever
wear
seen
heels.
kinky boots?
They,
Huh?
I have a lot of male friends that do wear heels for their cosplays, and have better legs than mine.
I know some guys who can wear heels, like stripper shoe heels, last all day and still look slaying. I mean, it's weird. I feel like we should have kept it to the original design of where men are supposed to wear heels, because you guys can outlast us like crazy.
Actually, the original, when heels first came out, it was actually the men who wore the heels.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
we should have stayed with that purpose. Like, why give it to women? We destroy feet already. We do so much to make them look so cute and petite, and we just destroy them for you guys. Whatever.
It's the whole posture thing. It changes the posture of a person when they wear heels, because then they have to like balance, and when they balance, they have to go back and forward, and so it sticks out the chest. It makes the legs look longer. It does all this fun stuff. It's a science to it. There's a science.
It's a science. If you take some modeling classes, you can learn how to do all of that without heels.
Or dancing.
I know how to do it. Or dancing. Yes, very, very true. Very true. Oh my God, forms and dancing, especially ballroom.
Oh yeah.
Learned so much.
After like I think the first few months after ballroom, people were asking me, your posture has completely changed. Like you walked into church and you're like completely different, like in your posture. You're not slumped over or anything else like that. So yeah, it does help to take dance lessons. It's not sissy. It's not sissy to take
really
dance
good
lessons.
exercise.
It's really fun, and you get to dance with
it's
hot
not.
women, and do.
I was just gonna point that out.
You get really close to them too.
Especially the tango, you get the chest up in there. And
Oh, the
you
rumba.
get touched. Oh, the rumba.
The rumba, the bachata. That's really close, and legs go really in weird places.
Weird places you never thought that was possible.
You're
But
like-
let me tell you, a guy that knows how to dance, I'm telling you, you're a keeper. Let that be a lesson to everybody who watches this.
Oh yes, if you do watch this.
They will. I'll make people watch it if I have to.
If I edit around all the internet interruptions,
I
like
know,
the
I didn't
click.
I should have gotten the landline. I didn't even think about how bad it would be. I've never used it on the laptop, so.
If we do this again,
I didn't realize.
Yeah, if we do this again,
working?
then we can we'll
I'll
probably do a
fix it.
landline. Probably do a landline.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I'll figure out why my camera makes me look like I'm cell shaded for some weird reason. I have no idea. It's my other camera didn't do this to me, and this is the new one. So
Very angelic on the side.
Oh. Except for you have like a horror mask in the background.
I know.
Deadpool, a piece of poop, and Kate Upton up right there just hanging. And for some reason, 2 white blank things up there because the posters fell out, and I need to find the bottom parts of them.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like, why are they blank? Because the bottoms fell out.
Because we're lazy. Like, why do we don't have time to fix things. What are you talking about?
No. I mean, I have a Hulk hand right behind me, just on my copier for no
He
reason
kind
at
of
all.
looked like is it just called The Thing on I'm a bad horror cosplayer today.
Adam Sandler.
The Addams Family. Is it just called The Thing?
I believe it's Thing. Yeah.
Thing. That's what I said. That's what it looks like. Because
Yeah.
the vibration is different. That's what it looks like.
She's just like waiting for you. Do 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 do.
I
Bad horror cosplayer.
know. I'm so out of it. I'm sorry. Hawaii just, it was the best thing ever my entire life, and my brain is still out there. So
That is my one of my bucket list places to go because I want to go there. I want to visit Pearl Harbor and Arizona, not just because I'm biased because I'm from Arizona, but also check out the volcanoes, see
Yeah.
see how hot lava really is, um,
it was cool.
and how
It,
long you
I
can stand on it.
Yeah, that would be fun. I didn't. I was on Oahu, which is a smaller island, I think. I don't remember, but it's the one with Pearl Harbor. And scuba diving is a lot harder than people think.
Oh yeah.
Most people have problems with equalizing their ear, getting the air out of your ears to go deeper. That was my problem. I went maybe 15 feet and I couldn't dive with the rest of the people, so I just ended up snorkeling while everybody else went down. And I was so mad because there was a whole school of turtles and they were huge.
And they're
A
old
couple of them
too.
said hi.
They can go.
And old.
They can go be over 100 years old. So
Yeah.
depends on the size of them. If they're pretty big, they're actually over 100 years old. So they can get
Yeah.
very very old.
They were huge. There was a couple of them that kind of popped their heads up to say hi to me, but other than that, everybody else got to see them. But it's a wonderful experience. If anybody gets the chance to, it's the sand actually does exfoliate your skin.
Oh yeah.
There are no calluses. My feet were terrible and calloused from the convention, and then I went to Hawaii, and they're so beautiful now.
It's so smooth.
They're so smooth. Like taking sand home sucks, but your skin feels wonderful and your feet feel wonderful, and yeah. So that's where my brain is.
Yeah.
Still, it was 2 days ago, and I'm still over there because I want to go back so bad.
Just don't watch open water before you go scuba diving because that will ruin the whole experience. And
Yeah, because when you first go into the water, you really can't see where you're gonna go. So that openness is really creepy.
well, not just
It's
that,
really
but
creepy.
you remember that open water was based on a true story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was about a couple that got left behind by their by the tour guide.
Or dive people or whatever.
Yes, they left. They
Yeah.
miscounted them,
Don't do
and
that.
and then they they ended up dying in real life. So, but no, it's one of those situations where you have to make sure you read the reviews and go, is this company legit? And what are the star reviews? What does Yelp say? Oh, only 5 deaths this year. Okay, so he might be, on average compared to the rest of these people.
Scuba diving was my alternative to Hawaii Con. I was supposed to go to Hawaii Con, but they got canceled because
Oh,
of
yeah.
the hurricane.
Oh yeah, my friend Jimmy J, who runs Amazing Las Vegas, also does Aloha Hawaii Con. So
Oh, I wanted to go so bad. But
I had a lot of
stupid
friends.
hurricane.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends that were there, and they wouldn't allow them to back into the convention center, and so they spent the whole day at Dave and Buster's.
oh, poor babies.
Oh, poor babies. No, but it's
Oh.
sad because they go there to make money. So
Yeah,
because
and
they're,
instead they spent.
but they I think they rescheduled it for February, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
So
I didn't realize. I just heard, and I'm like, meh, whatever. I'll just stay on this island and go scuba diving instead.
with the sharks. I mean, no.
Turtles? Sharks? I don't know. I don't think we had sharks in our area. I would have been okay with that though.
Small sharks
I
are
love
not that bad. You just have to worry
No.
about the pretty big sharks that can
Mhm.
eat you with one chomp.
Especially me, being tiny person.
You see the Meg and you're like, I'm
They
not
eat the
going in the
crap
water ever again.
No, not happening. But the water is pretty awesome. Don't ever swallow the water either. That is not recommended.
Well, it's salt
Oh,
water. It's salt
burn.
water. So
Salt water, and it burns. And listen to your instructors at all times because they teach you very valuable stuff that helps you not swallow or go blind by the water or anything.
And
It was a lot of fun.
if you see jellyfish or man of war, don't get near them.
No, luckily we were not in an area with any of those around. It was just turtles and fish, and it was really cool, even though I could only see from afar. I'm kind of bitter about it because I was like, why? I found out later that the instructor was all like, so are you like small in all places? And I wasn't sure what he was getting at. And he was all like, well, because children have way more of a problem equalizing underwater. So if you're like, if you got a small child-sized everything, your inner ear is probably just like that. And so yeah, it was hard to deal with. I'm bitter about it.
You're
I'm
like,
very
damn it! I wish I was not so childish. Like,
That's like I started to get it a little bit, but I was taking up everybody's dive time, so I got out of the water. Like, whatever, you guys go have fun. It's fine. I'll cry later. Whatever.
yeah, I have to deal with being 5'9", and most of my friends are nearly 6 feet or over. So
Wow. So they have 2 inches on you.
yeah, well,
Ish. 2, 3.
yeah. Let's see, 5'9".
Oh,
Go to
sorry.
5'12".
I'm thinking 10, not 12.
Yes,
Oh my God. Wow.
it's
I
math.
can math today.
You can math. No, have you seen that meme where the confused blonde, where she's like looking like this, and then all of a sudden math equations pop up in front of her? I don't know if you've seen that meme before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me.
They'll say something, and then try to calculate what with this, the hypotenuse of what, the sine, the cosine, the tangent of what. So katoa.
Switch. No.
Sine opposite the cosine, adjacent to the tangent. What was it? It was an angle opposite angle or something to that effect. But that's SOHCAHTOA. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Math.
funny.
Do you remember math? You don't want to remember math.
No, and
It's-
that's why people will pay me good money when I start doing pattern drafting, because that's a lot of math. I'm sorry. You're gonna pay.
Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Utah, and her daughter is like extremely like I wanted to meet up with her, but we had to drive right through there, so we couldn't meet with her because she lives in the southern part of Utah. And her daughter is actually in college, and she's 12.
Oh my God.
And her mom, it was my friend. She is Mensa already, and her daughter is smarter than her. She looks,
Holy
yeah,
cow.
she looks like advanced calculus, like it's a game. So it's kind of like she looks at her mom like, you don't understand this? She's like, I'm smart. I'm not that smart.
Oh, I wonder if I hope she doesn't turn into like Sherlock Holmes from like the BBC series where it's just like, do you have any idea what it's like to be surrounded by stupid people all the time?
I don't know, because summer vacation, she's not too big a fan of summer vacation. She just wants to be like back at school and read in her head in a book. She's that type of person. So I don't know. It's a very intellectual type of like people.
Yeah.
Who knows? When she graduates college, she'll probably be like 15, 16, and then just like, I'm going on for my master's now and my PhD.
Or I'm all like, so I had like one semester in college, and that was about it.
That's about it.
it.
What do you
And
have?
one of those classes was yoga.
What do you have in the water over there in Utah?
I'm not at liberty to say. NASA's listening. I can't talk.
NASA.
Whatever. See? I don't know. Or NSA. See? It's
Yes.
NSA, isn't it?
Yes. You don't know. You just don't know.
I don't know anything. See? I don't know. You can't arrest me. I don't know anything. Oh my God.
No, but no, it's a beautiful state. I'll love to go back there again sometime, and especially back to Salt Lake, because there were so many areas of Salt Lake I wanted to check out, and we never got to check out. We were driving by this cliffside where there's this in Park City, where this pretty much like a rafting type of like area is, and then there's a waterfall coming down. It's just a beautiful area. Um, and let's see, there's so many other areas too. There's this big lake they have there,
Hmm.
and that was cool. That'd be awesome to go to. So, but we had to drive by it. At least we drove by it. We drove by it.
Yeah,
But it
you
was,
gotta look. Oh, that's pretty.
imagine ourselves like in the water, but then
Yeah.
realize that the water would probably be pretty cold. So,
Yeah, we don't have the best swimming water here. It's very beautiful to look at, and maybe do some photo shoots, but actually swimming at your own risk.
you touch the water, it's like
That's
it's
what I would say.
28 degrees. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
You come down here, Arizona. You just like, I'm just gonna stay in the pool the whole time. I'm not leaving. You can't make me leave. Or you stand by the air conditioner going,
Ice
oh.
packs on you at all times.
I don't know if you'll be
Yeah,
able
we
to
kind
survive.
of have. No.
You'll be able to survive outside in the summer. I have some friends that came from Alaska,
Mhm.
and they came here and got out of the vehicle, and we're going, how can you guys wear pants in this weather? Same thing my mom said when she moved here from Washington, and it was like, well, we're just used to it. And they're looking at it like, it's
Yeah.
115 degrees.
I'm gonna have an umbrella and like 1,000 SPF sunscreen. Like, to me, it's hard to tell in this lighting. This is a tan. I'm actually kind of tan. I'm pretty white. I'm very Irish descent, English Irish descent. So like, if I go to Arizona, I'm a look like that white nerd with like the white sunscreen, and I'm gonna have like 20 umbrellas. Oh my God, there's sun. Just gotta walk away from the sun. Be in buildings at all times. I will step in each shadow. I've done it here in Utah, where if it's too hot, so I can't walk in, just because I'm so scared I'm gonna get burned somehow.
Oh yeah, it's you have to get used to it. You have to be like, and even me, I can only work outside for so long, and then I have to actually come inside,
Mm-hmm.
cool it off, and then go back outside, because it's just you'll die in the heat. And
Literally.
I work outside, so
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's fun. I can't wait till it gets cool. Hopefully next month. Usually October is when it starts to cool down for us.
Mhm.
So we live in a bowl, so it traps all the heat. So that bowl, just like
Yeah.
it's like a bowl of soup. We just get all the heat sucked in here.
We call it fishbowl here because we kind of have that effect. We're not completely a bowl, but because we were a basin, so we call it the fishbowl effect because we trap all of our smoke and our smog and pollution. It gets trapped within the mountains of the area, so we don't have a lot of good oxygen.
Oh, yeah.
We have lack of oxygen as it is.
Oh yeah, well you go to Central Phoenix, just south of me, and as you're going over the hill, the freeway, you can see all that lovely smog in the air. It's like, oh,
You start going down into it, you're like, shit.
you're like, I'm gonna be breathing that shit in pretty soon. So it's nice when it rains because it kind of clears the stuff away from it. So
Yeah, coming back from Hawaii, where the air was amazing, my nose had been stuffed up for 24 hours straight. Like, just gunk all in my sinuses and everywhere. And I'm like, I forgot how terrible it is here. Because Hawaii was just beautiful, beautiful skies. Even with some of the tropical storm that we got, we still had really good air quality. It was very humid.
yeah, it's
Humid is a really good word.
well, it's real right off the water, so it's the islands.
Very,
so.
yeah. But it was nice that I could sit in a parking lot under a tree and take a nap in a vehicle and not feel like I was gonna die. Like, I fell asleep in the passenger side for like a half an hour, and it was nice. There was a nice breeze. Nobody would bother us. They're like, hang loose, kind of. It was really cool. I loved it.
Oh yeah, fantastic. All right, so we've gone on so many different subjects right now.
I know.
We need to end pretty soon. All right, so I'd like to thank you, Madame Moody, for coming on tonight. This is going to be fun to edit. I'm
We
gonna
can
have
do it again later when I have a better connection.
I have to go around all the choppy areas, so some of our
Yeah.
subjects might get cut out. So,
Yeah.
but no, it was fun talking with you, and yeah, it was also awesome meeting you too.
Yeah.
Especially when I didn't know it was you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh my, that was me. It's like, oh.
That was you.
There's
No.
so many people at the convention. You can't remember everybody.
Oh yeah.
It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
Until you look through the photos, you're like, oh, that's you.
Oh.
That was you on the floor. That I just randomly went like, hey, do you mind if I take a picture of you? I know you're eating, but
Yeah.
but you're spread out so nicely on the floor, so you know.
Yeah. Hoop skirts are a beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing, but you know, can kind of be going
Yeah.
going through a doorway.
Well, that's why I wear pants.
Or
They
going
go
up
vertical.
going up an escalator is even harder.
Oh, that was fun. Did you ever see me do that?
No, I have had friends that go up hoop skirts, trying to go up an escalator, and also they have to lift. They have to lift because my friends. I've seen my friends like freak out because when you get to the bottom, worried that their part of their skirt is going to get stuck in
Yeah.
the escalator. That happened to a recent at SabatonCon. Somebody's dress got stuck in there, and they had to shut the elevator or the
Oh.
escalator down. Yeah, that was the second time this has happened. Last year was
Wow.
last year was a heel, uh, and
Oh God.
it gives you this like frightening like, will the escalator suck you in? Oh no!
I am lucky enough I can just grab the edges of my hoop skirt and literally just prop it on top of where you hold onto, and then just right up it. It's fine. There's nothing loose underneath the hoop skirts. It's just all gathered on top. So I'm lucky with that, and it's really entertaining to watch. I'll hit people on the other side with my hoop skirt. It's
I'm
so
sorry.
funny.
I'm sorry. I knocked you
Yeah.
off.
Didn't mean to. Sorry. It's my personal space. Get off.
Something that was actually there at FanX that I had no idea was there until I saw the video afterwards was D-Pity, which I was like, he was just at Sabaton literally
Yeah.
a day and a half before that, and I was talking with him. I had no idea he was going to travel to FanX right after the convention I was just at.
Yeah.
So I had no idea he was there until I saw videos start to pop up online that,
Yeah.
you know, D-Pity versus FanX. I'm like, what? He was there? What?
Damn it, I wish I had known that before, because I would have had him battle my hoop skirt. That would have been hilarious if he just kept popping in and out of it. People love to do that because the movie, the midget pops out from underneath her skirt.
He would have done that. He's done that before with other people.
I wish that I had found him, because that would have been hilarious.
I love reading the comments and sometimes on some of his videos, and people like go, "Oh, he's a horrible person. Why would he, you know, slap that woman on her butt or touch her there or like jump over under her dress?" I'm like, do you guys know that he actually rehearses all this stuff? Like, I've been there. I've been in some of his videos. I've also helped him with some of his videos. So just seeing his, you know, do multiple takes. He does multiple takes on some of these things.
Yeah.
Because they don't always work.
Yeah.
Like his Luigi throwing the shell. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't always hit the target. It
Yeah.
takes a few times before you can hit the target right away. So
He knows what he's doing, and he always gets permission.
he always gets permission. He's not just going to toss a turtle shell at somebody's head and then just go like this.
What? What?
Just go and go out of focus. No, it's all permission. Most of the people that he does like the physical type of like humor and stuff, he's actually friends with, so they know him and they already talked about it and stuff. So it's, you know, and people get so offended these days, and people just go after him because they're thinking that, oh, he did it like spontaneous, and like, no, it's not spontaneous at all. It's all, I hate to break the magic, but it's all rehearsed. Everybody just
Yeah.
calm down. Calm down. He
down.
asks the people
Calm
before
down,
that.
internet.
If they're not comfortable with it, he doesn't do it. So, you know,
Yeah.
no, he's a cool guy. I don't know if you've seen him without his mask. but yeah.
I have not.
Okay, he's anonymous. So anybody who asks me, I'm like, well, you're gonna have to ask him because I'm not allowed to really reveal what he looks like or whatever.
No.
But he's a nice guy, and if you ever get to meet him again, um, yeah, he comes down here a few times for our conventions down here. So
He needs to meet my Giselle.
he needs to meet your
I
Giselle. Yes,
Needs
yes.
to meet my Giselle so bad. Oh, we're gonna have to talk later about that.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna have to happen.
So my next out-of-state convention for at least next year is amazing Las Vegas Con in Las Vegas. Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Sparkles.
I'm not gonna be gambling because I won't have the money.
I,
I will.
actually
I will be
never
go.
do.
I will be going by the casinos, going. That could be there, but I have to pay for this trip. So
Right, right. I'm like this close of seeing how I can actually, like the people who dress up and they take pictures and then they ask for tips because they can't like charge you legally
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm trying to figure out how to do that with Giselle like a couple days prior to the convention to help pay for my trip because it's a really big ticket.
There's a way to do it, but you can't stay in place for very long because some of
No.
those costumers actually have permits to be in
Oh.
those areas, and it's a kind of a gray area when it comes to costumers
Yeah.
because some people can come up to you and ask you if you have a permit. Especially it happens in New York a lot too.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful exactly on what your costume looks like because a lot of times if it's too screen accurate, you could be held for copyright infringement. So you have to be kind of like, it looks like the character, but it's not completely screen accurate. So you're not completely copyright infringing on the original character that you are cosplaying or costuming as. And if you don't have a permit, you can't stay in that one area for a while. Otherwise, another costumer is going to come by and going, hey, that's my spot. Oh, sorry.
Territory.
Yeah, territory-wise and also permit-wise. So, but you can, like I said, it's a gray area. You can't. I've gotten people giving me money at the Renaissance Festival, and I'm like, I can't take it in the festival. I mean, I have friends that work there, and they said if you refuse like 3 times or something to that effect, and they won't go away, and they'll just keep shoving the money at you, well, you have to take it. But if you, but you're not supposed to like ask for money or anything while you're in costume, because I do Deadpool while I'm at the Renaissance Festival, so I do like Pirate Deadpool or Priest Deadpool or something to the effect. And one time, this woman wanted to give me like $5 for the picture I took with her and her child, and I'm like, I'm actually leaving for the exit. Meet me out there, because I can't literally take it while I'm in the fairgrounds. So it's a gray area on accepting tips and everything. I've been at this Christmas thing we have down here full of lights called Glendale Glitters, and I can make $25-30 a night without asking anybody for tips. They just hand you money because they think, well, you're dressed really nice as a costumer and everything, getting pictures with my kids, I'll give you money. Like Santa's getting tips, so why is the other costumers getting tips? At one point, I literally had a longer line for kids to get pictures with me than the Santa Claus had that was actually there. And it was awkward because I was trying to get to a restaurant. My friends were waiting for me. And I'm standing there going, it's this giant crowd of people, and then all of a sudden I see this long line, and I'm like, oh, that's for me. I'm just standing there, just like, I decided I found like a bench to sit down and just wait for this line to end. I'm like, when is it ever gonna end? But I made some money that night, so I'm like, okay.
Cross my fingers. Maybe for New York, maybe if I look up the logistics for New York, I can maybe make a little bit of food money or something.
Make sure you know how to protect your your personal space, because New Yorkers, I wouldn't stereotype them as kind of mouthy type of people, but I have friends that are from New Jersey and New York, that yeah, their type of sense of humor can kind of be somewhat offensive, or not just offensive, but they're I don't know. It's kind of just the way New Yorkers are. It's
Yeah, yeah.
you don't want to mess with a New York cabbie or just a New Yorker in general. They are very yeah. All the things you see in movies are almost true, pretty much true. So
I can handle it, but that's why I've got a cosplay handler with me as well because we're gonna do a couple photo shoots there in Giselle. So hopefully we won't get too much of a problem or a crowd or something.
don't
I'm
shoot at
a
night.
little
Don't shoot at night in Central Park.
no,
Not
no,
even
no,
close.
no,
There's a
no.
beautiful fountain in Central Park that you come out from under a tunnel from when there's a staircase that goes down. I've
Hmm.
never been there, but I have friends that live there, and also the ones that just recently went. And you can see it in so many different movies, like John Wick, and
Hmm.
I think even Home Alone, and all these other movies. Anyway, and it goes down under this let's see, overpass type of thing, and then opens up to this really large fountain. I believe it was in Enchanted. So it's a beautiful fountain, and
Yes,
that
and
is
her blue dress when she's in the blue
yes,
dress. So
and singing.
yeah, that's not
So
gonna happen.
so people are gonna go by like we'll give you $5 if you sing a song.
I mean, I will put that $5 somewhere where they can't grab it, so when they actually hear me sing, they won't ask for a refund because I'll just be on my way. Like I'll sing for 2 seconds, it sounds like crap, and then I'll run away.
Bring like a recording like of something like how do
That's
you know, and you just go off on that one.
that's a good idea. That's actually a good idea. That gives me a few ideas.
Yes. No, but that area is very beautiful to shoot. Also, let's see what else. They also have like boats you can get on there, and
Hmm.
that's going to be a little difficult. That's going to need a long lens or somebody else in another boat shooting. So,
Shooting, yeah. There's a little photo shoot that a photographer has for Central Park in the morning, and then I have a private shoot with somebody for Times Square, which I have no idea how we're gonna pull that off, but we're gonna try it anyways.
careful down the alleyways. I just tell you,
Yeah.
and don't go into Hell's Kitchen.
No.
Be careful if you're going to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Definitely don't get off the subway in Harlem,
No.
especially if you're white.
I am taking Ubers everywhere. I will spend the money to do Uber or Lyft or something just to make sure
Well,
it's
it's
not
probably the
somebody
cheapest
good.
way because cabbies hate Uber and Lyft, especially in New York. They despise them.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Uh,
Like in Utah, it's been a haven. It's been amazing because we really don't need cab service
yeah.
in Utah at all. But I can't imagine what kind of hate they get
Well, because New
with New
York is
York.
known for their cabs.
Yeah.
So when Lyft and Uber have come along and they don't have unions at all, um,
Hmm.
it just infuriates any cabbie that you don't. If you have a friend that's a cabbie, you never bring up in the conversation Uber or Lyft because they'll just infuriate them because um,
No longer friends.
yes, we're no longer friends anymore because you take Uber. But no, it's just it's a big business over in New York, and
Hmm.
so having Uber and Lyft now as a competition, um, when before it was kind of like a monopoly with all the
Yeah.
because it takes a lot of money to get your quote unquote medallion to drive people around, and with Uber and
Hmm.
Lyft you just have to have a clean record
Yeah.
and a car that's eight or less in years, that it's not that old, so that you have at least a pretty good car to drive around, and
Yeah.
there you go. That's also another reason why cabbies get really pissed off at Lyft and Uber.
Oh, I will be careful with my words around people.
Be careful.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely don't watch any horror movies that involve New York because
I will just watch. I will watch Enchanted a million times over on the plane, and then I'll be good. To me, it will be like one happily ever after, and that I know that's not true for New York City, but I'm just gonna put it that way in my head so I don't get freaked out.
oh man, that'd be hilarious if you found a construction area near a manhole and
Oh,
see if they would let you stand in the manhole and pop up for photos.
You know, my photographer is trying to see if he can find something, because I mean, there's the one in Central Park, which she doesn't have the wedding dress in Central Park, but if we could find something close to the manhole, or maybe get, we don't know yet, but we're really trying hard to find something, because
Like-
that would be brilliant.
Like if you could like find a construction area that like is in Times Square that they're working and they have an open manhole and go by. Can I just take a few shots of this? Would it be okay? You can stand by to make sure that nothing happens and
Yeah.
everything I'm liable for and everything. So
I have a contract with me. It's 1,200 pages. I just really want to do this.
I
shoot.
just want to look like I'm coming out and going, oh, the city, and you're like,
Hey,
look,
oh
it's
my
right behind you.
I really want the attention of Amy Adams desperately. So, can we please make this work? I got $100. I know that's not much for New York, but you know, I'm from Utah. That's a lot for Utah.
Yeah.
It would be pretty awesome. With the second movie that was announced, I'm really hoping that I can get some publicity and media with this dress, because the 500 hours I have put into it so far, I want my time's worth out of it.
Yeah, exactly. It would be funny if all of a sudden they switch actresses on us and it wasn't Amy Adams but Isla Fisher, and you're like, oh. It's the funny
I'd be
thing is
so
because
mad.
they look alike, so
They do.
they do look
They do.
alike.
But I'd still be mad. Like, no. She said it herself, though. She confirmed it herself on, I can't remember which British show, but she confirmed it herself. I think it's supposed to be like Disenchanted or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so we've been talking forever.
I know,
And-
I know.
And
I can go on.
I need to get back. I need to get to dinner. So
Yay!
dinner's important. But no, thank you for being on tonight's show. This is not all going to be on the the
We'll
podcast.
do it again.
We'll do it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll be more.
I'll do my homework.
Yes, definitely do our homework. We'll have a better understanding of what we're going to be talking about, because we really segued
Correct.
all over the freaking place.
Yeah.
So
That's me.
that's me too. That's me talking to celebrities, and in the end, we're into like I'm gonna have to like wipe like 45 minutes off this podcast. So we can just talking forever.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun talking to you and seeing you again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
Look forward to talking to you again.
Look forward to. Can I plug in stuff really quick?
Yeah, definitely. You can plug in.
Awesome. So you can find my costume design page, Madame Moody Costume Designs, on Facebook. I have a Madame Moody cosplay on Instagram. Hit me up, like my stuff. Also hire me, bitches. I need money. I just started this business, and I would love to get your business. Talk to me, get a quote. I love giving out chocolate or cookies to kind of take you to the dark side with me a little bit. So definitely hit me up. Ta-da! There we go.
Chocolate and cookies.
Chocolate and cookies come to the dark side.
You're the type of person who's driving in that van, going like, I got chocolate and cookies back here. Just
Do you guys want to buy some magic?
you want to buy some sugar sticks, and you just drive by these Muppets, and you're like, got sugar sticks in the back.
Oh, the sad thing is that I totally do that.
I don't know if you've seen the Happy Time Murders, but yeah.
Oh,
It's so wrong when you consider that it's Jim Henson's son that's directing it.
oh, so we could go on for that.
Oh
forever,
god.
too.
Oh yeah. All right. So anyway, hope you have a good night. I know it is like 9:38 over there because we do not believe in daylight savings time.
No.
No. I don't know why the rest of the United States still has daylight savings time.
We suck. That's why.
I don't know why. We don't need it anymore. All right. So, thank you for being on. And thank you, viewers, for watching us or listening to us, depending on if you're actually watching the video. And remember to enjoy your chimichanga. Oh, yeah, chimichangas.
Chimichangas.